हाय गाइस एंड वेलकम टू शिफ्टिंग गियर्स। आज के वीडियो में मेरे साथ है Citroen की नई C3। दिस इज देयर न्यू मास मार्केट व्हीकल हियर फॉर द इंडियन मार्केट एंड वी आर एट द ऑफिशियल मीडिया ड्राइव फॉर दिस ऑल न्यू Citroen C3 हियर फॉर द इंडियन मार्केट। इस वीडियो में हम इस गाड़ी के इंटीरियर कैबिन के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं। वी हैव अ सेपरेट वीडियो वेयर वी टॉक अबाउट द एक्सटीरियर डिजाइन हाइलाइट्स ऑफ दिस व्हीकल. We have two separate drive review videos as well, one for the naturally aspirated petrol engine and one for the turbo petrol engine's driving experience. इस वीडियो में हम फोकस करेंगे on the interior features, the space and just how comfortable is this Citroen C3 because comfort is a very important aspect that Citroen likes to focus on across all of their products. अभी सबसे पहले तो मेरी हाइट है 5 feet 8 inches. The variant I have with me is the Citroen C3 Feel trim. This is their most expensive trim. लेकिन आपको 3 अलग से एक्सेसरी पैक्स भी मिल जाएंगे and you have more than 70 accessories which you can add to your Citroen C3 so that it matches your personality and it suits your driving style and your garage goals. सबसे पहले बात करते हैं इनग्रेस और एग्रेस की. So when I open the door, this is how wide it opens and this is the space that you are going to get in and out of this Citroen C3. When I close the door, listen to the door shutting thud sound. This is how it sounds, and when I have to step inside, ये सीट जो है मैंने लोएस्ट सेटिंग पे सेट कर रखी है एंड टू गेट आउट it is not too much of a task. If you have elderly family members who still drive and if they want to share this Citroen C3 with you, they can very easily come up close to the vehicle, sit on the seat and then get inside. And even for the elderly, getting out of this vehicle is not going to be too much of a task. इस गाड़ी का व्हील बेस जो है वो काफ़ी लंबा है. Space is quite good, so do watch this video till the end. And although this is a micro SUV or crossover, or if you just want to consider it a B segment hatchback, it is up to you. But the height is not too intimidating. It is a tall vehicle. For your reference, I am 5 feet 8 inches. This is how tall the vehicle is. But getting in and out is not difficult at all. And this feels like a very good family car. But now, let's get inside and let me tell you everything on the inside of this Citroen C3. Now I am inside this Citroen C3. This is not the C3 Aircross. It is only called the Citroen C3. सबसे पहले तो when you get inside this vehicle, you will notice that black is the most dominant color. But you are going to get contrasting elements on the inside which are going to stand out. जो वेरिएंट मेरे साथ है, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो ये जो डैशबोर्ड मिड पैड है, इस पे ग्रे फिनिश दिया गया है. But if you want more bolder colors, you also have an orange accent over here on other color options. So, you know, the interior cabin looks a little funky, feels a little premium and breaks the monotony. But for me, for my taste, I think this looks quite good and it is a decent looking interior cabin and utility is the key point over here in this car. Space management is fantastic and everything feels well put together. Of course, everything is hard plastic. कहीं पे भी आपको soft touch material नहीं मिल रहा है. This is a budget car. Prices are going to be announced very soon. Deliveries are going to start from July. Bookings are going to open from July and you can decide to buy this Citroen C3 against competition such as the Tata Punch. So now let's deep dive into the features inside the cabin of this Citroen C3. सबसे पहले आप देख लोगे ये जो steering wheel है, it is on the smaller side but it feels very car-like. It doesn't feel too bulky. No leather wrap, soft touch, rubberized or plastic material, whatever you would like to call it. And You have these buttons over here for your infotainment. आप देख सकते हो आपको वॉइस कमांड का बटन भी यहाँ पे दिया गया है एंड you can control your infotainment from these buttons. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे इट इज़ अ ब्लैंक्ड आउट प्लेट. यहाँ पे कोई भी बटन्स आपको नहीं दिए गए हैं. इस गाड़ी के साथ आपको क्रूज कंट्रोल ये फंक्शनैलिटी नहीं मिल रही है. दिस इज द नेचुरली एस्पिरेटेड पेट्रोल इंजन ऑप्शन ऑफ द Citroen C3. स्टीयरिंग व्हील पे आपको ये डबल शेवरॉन लोगो दिया गया है इन क्रोम एंड यू हैव दिस सिल्वर एक्सेंट ओवर हियर एज वेल. Pretty standard and typical of budget cars. Nothing to talk much about, but nothing to complain about as well. It feels decent. After that चलिए बात करते हैं इस गाड़ी के स्पीडोमीटर क्लस्टर के बारे में. इस गाड़ी के साथ आपको एक डिजिटल स्पीडोमीटर दिया गया है एंड व्हेन यू लुक क्लोजली आपको डिजिटल स्पीड रीडआउट नजर आएगा. उसके नीचे आपको एवरेज फ्यूल इकोनॉमी नजर आएगी. यू हैव योर डिस्टेंस टू एम्प्टी, यू हैव योर ओडोमीटर and you have 2 trip meters. That's it. यहाँ पे आप देख लीजिए you have your fuel gauge and the engine temperature gauge. When you slot into a gear, your selected gear is going to be displayed over there. Have a look at this. This is what it looks like. There is a lot of blank space around it. I wish Citroen ने इस space को use किया होता and there were other details, other elements shown over here and maybe this display could have been wider, but it is what it is and you can't really help it. यहाँ पे आप देख लीजिए ये जो डोम सेक्शन है it is quite prominent and we are under top sun right now, but it is a rainy day here in Goa. You can check it out. It is sunny but it is also raining, but this display is reasonable enough. Information जो है आप आसानी से पढ़ सकते हो and it is not going to be difficult at all. On the left hand side you will notice you have your wiper controls. You do not have a rear wash and wipe, which is a missing feature on this vehicle. इस गाड़ी में rear defogger भी आपको नहीं मिल रहा है. And on the right you will notice you have your headlamp control and no automatic headlamps either. To the right hand side you will notice you have your fog lamp control and you have a button to lock your power windows in this Citroen C3. Now when you look at the dashboard section you will notice you have the cutout over here for your passenger airbag. You have dual airbags in this vehicle. यहाँ पे आपको एक carved out section दिया गया है. यहाँ पे आप भगवान की मूर्ति प्लेस कर सकते हो. The dashboard otherwise is relatively flat. ये जो mid pad है you have this texture over here. Feels good to touch and it has a matte finish. लेकिन आप देख लीजिए ये जो AC vents हैं यहाँ पे आपको gloss black elements नजर आएंगे. You also have this satin chrome finish. You have that satin chrome over here on these central AC vents as well. It is a hot, humid and rainy day here in Goa. तो यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा बहुत condensation भी नजर आएगा. This section over here, this cutout is to place your car perfume. You have satin chrome finish over here. लेकिन ये जो space है, it is not going to be useful for utility because अगर आप अपना phone यहाँ पे रख दोगे, it is not going to stay over here. It is only here for design. It is only here for aesthetics. This is not going to be useful. After that, when you look at the rightmost AC vent, यहाँ पे भी आपको same gloss black with satin chrome और यहाँ पे भी आप car perfume अगर आप चाहो तो position कर सकते हो. You can do that on the left hand side AC vent as well. So these are very thoughtful design touches inside this Citroen C3. After that, when you look at this A pillar, यहाँ पे आपको एक ट्विटर नजर आएगा and since this is a budget car, आप देख लीजिए आपको manual adjustable mirror controls मिल रहे हैं. This feels out of place in a car in 2022 and I don't like it. You let us know if it matters to you, if this is going to make or break the deal. कंट्रोल करना काफ़ी आसान है but it is going to be cumbersome in your day-to-day ownership if you share your vehicle with other family members. One very important missing feature when you drive this Citroen C3 is that you do not get day-night adjustment for this rear view mirror, and especially here on the Indian streets where there are so many people driving with their high beam on inside city limits, this will be missed. इसके बाद इस गाड़ी का सबसे बड़ा हाईलाइट ऑन द इनसाइड, इट इज दिस 10-inch टच स्क्रीन इंफोटेनमेंट सिस्टम। इस गाड़ी के साथ आपको वायरलेस एप्पल कारप्ले और एंड्रॉयड ऑटो कनेक्टिविटी मिल रही है एंड द टच रिस्पॉन्स इज very good, and the screen resolution, the brightness, everything is spot on, and I think it looks the part and it is doing enough justice for this particular segment. Navigation जब आप on कर लेते हो with your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, this is the display, it spreads out nicely, so this is very easily visible, and ये जो angle है, it is flat, it is not tilted towards the driver, so everyone can consume this infotainment screen inside this Citroen C3. Now this is my smartphone. I have a position over here, a slot over here to place my smartphone. लेकिन यहाँ पे आपको कोई wireless charging pad नहीं दिया गया है. You have a recess over here so that you can pick your phone back easily, and that's about it. यहाँ पे आपको एक USB charging point दिया गया है. You can also use this to connect your phone to the infotainment if you wish. You have a 12-volt charging socket. This is your button for your hazard lamps, and you have manual air conditioning controls inside this Citroen C3. ये जो cutouts आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हो on either ends, यहाँ पे आप अपने जो charging cables हैं उन्हें manage कर सकते हो, so the cables are not dangling around inside the cabin of this vehicle. That is a very nice design touch, very thoughtful, and you can also keep your smartphone over here because there is another storage point below this smartphone storage slot over here in this Citroen C3. So utility has been the key focus, and there are a lot of storage spaces. आपको दो cup holders भी यहाँ पे दिए गए हैं, and they are nice and deep, so your coffee cups will stay in place, they will stay put when you are driving your Citroen C3. Then when you look at this gear stick, कोई भी leather wrap यहाँ पे नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत soft touch material का भी इस्तेमाल यहाँ पे किया गया है, but it feels decent. I am liking the fact that यहाँ पे कोई silver color use नहीं किया है because that would just fade with your ownership. So this black gear stick, this unit looks decent. यहाँ पे ये जो leatherette material आपको मिल रहा है, it has contrast stitching, and you will notice you have this satin silver finish over here as well. Look at the roof console. यहाँ पे आपको एक single cabin lamp मिल रहा है, not an LED unit. On the passenger side, sun visor आपको एक mirror दिया गया है, no sliding cover, no additional lamp over here, and on the driver side you don't even get a ticket holder. This is it, and you can move it to block the sun when you are driving your vehicle. Feels very budget like, right? It doesn't feel that it is too fancy, and the exterior design is quite striking. The interior cabin is very utilitarian. It is very spacious and generous, but it is not fancy. That is the point that you have to keep in mind. ये जो टच स्क्रीन इंफोटेनमेंट है, इसके आसपास आपको ग्लॉस ब्लैक सराउंड मिल रहा है, आपको एक और स्टोरेज पॉइंट, एक और कभी होल दिया गया है. दिस हैंड ब्रेक button has that satin silver accent. You have leather wrap over here as well, and then you will notice you have your power window buttons positioned over here. These are your power window controls for the rear window, so they are not positioned on the door trim. और उसके पीछे आपको ये एक और कप होल्डर, एक और बॉटल होल्डर दिया गया है inside the cabin of this Citroen C3. Then when you look at the glove box, it is reasonable in terms of the space that is on offer. Check this out. This is a owner's manual, and you can place it this way vertically as well, and it shuts very nicely. No uneven panel gap over here as well, so I am really liking the fact that it is a well put together vehicle right from day one. So this definitely should give you some confidence that Citroen has made efforts to ensure that this car for the mass market, this car for the budget family car buyer feels good enough as of 2022. Talking about driver comfort and driver's point of view, इस गाड़ी के साथ आपको height adjustable steering wheel मिल रहा है. It is not tilt and telescopic, आप सिर्फ इसे ऊपर नीचे adjust कर सकते हो. मेरी height है 5 feet 8 inches. This is the amount of headroom that is available. मैं बैठा हूँ at the lowest seat height inside this Citroen C3, but I have a good commanding driving view even at the lowest setting, and I can see the crease lines of the bonnet very easily. तो मैं इस गाड़ी को काफ़ी आसानी से समझ पाया. Today is the first time I am inside this Citroen C3 and it made me feel instantly at home. तो गाड़ी समझने में, चलाने में मुझे कोई भी दिक्कत नहीं हुई. This can easily be your first car in the family. After that, look at the seats. इस गाड़ी के साथ आपको फैब्रिक सीट अपहोल्स्ट्री मिल रही है. You have this textured pattern. The seats are in dual tone. आपको कॉन्ट्रास्ट स्टिचिंग भी यहाँ पे नजर आएगी. And the seat looks good for sure. I am liking the fact that it is not in a shade of beige. Light shade material यूज किया जाता तो इसे मेंटेन करना, साफ करना मुश्किल हो जाता. Lateral support जो है, ये जो साइड बोल्स्टरिंग है, it is also prominent. You have a fixed type headrest on the front seats of this Citroen C3 and the seat definitely looks sporty, and you can notice that it has this elevation over here for better thigh support. So that also helps in your ownership cycle. इस गाड़ी के साथ आप देख लीजिए on the left hand side door pad आपको एक बॉटल होल्डर मिल रहा है and you have more space to store extra oddities. डोर ओपनिंग लीवर जो है उस पर आपको सिल्वर एक्सेंट दिया गया है and you also have a speaker cutout on the door trim. लेकिन जो आपको carved out section दिया गया है behind the power window switch, वहाँ पे आप अपना स्मार्टफोन नहीं रख पाओगे because it is not long enough. Now on the driver side you will notice that you get power window controls only for the front windows because रियर विंडो के लिए आपको पावर विंडो कंट्रोल यहाँ पे दिए गए हैं बिहाइंड दी हैंड ब्रेक. एंड इवन ऑन द ड्राइवर साइड यू हैव जेनरस स्पेस ओवर हियर इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्टोरेज. 1 लीटर की बॉटल भी आप यहाँ पे आसानी से रख पाओगे एंड देयर इज एक्स्ट्रा स्पेस ओवर हियर फॉर एक्स्ट्रा ऑडिटीज. एंड जस्ट लिसन टू दिस डोर क्लोजिंग थर्ड वन मोर टाइम. दिस इज हाउ इट साउंड्स. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू एडजस्ट दिस ड्राइविंग सीट to my height, and this feels reasonable and this feels comfortable. Now I'm going to jump in the back seat and I'm going to tell you how much space is available over there, because if you want to go out on a long drive in this Citroen C3, back seat space matters as well. Now to step in the back seat of this Citroen C3, it is very easy क्योंकि ये जो सीट लेआउट है, it is a theater styled layout. That is what Citroen says, because the rear seat bench is placed higher compared to the front seats. So you sit higher in the rear cabin of this Citroen C3. So when you want to get out as well, it is very easy. तो अगर आपके फैमिली में बुजुर्ग मेंबर्स हैं, वो काफ़ी आसानी से गाड़ी के अंदर आके बैठ सकेंगे और गाड़ी में से उतर भी सकेंगे. They can very easily come close to the vehicle, sit on the seat and then move their feet inside. And when I am in the back seat behind my own driving seat position, check this out, there is very good knee room available. काफ़ी अच्छा फुट रूम भी मुझे मिल रहा है. This seat is at its lowest by the way, but still there is very good foot room available for me. And just look at the thigh support. It is fantastic for a car of this segment. This thigh support I think is class leading and it is very comfortable. For my height, this is the amount of headroom that is available. इस गाड़ी में आपको fixed type rear grab handles मिल रहे हैं. Have a look at this window section. This is the amount of greenhouse in the rear cabin. It allows a decent amount of light. Silver finish on the door opening lever. But no power window over here because the power window controls are over here. It is not too inconvenient. It is just a little different because just have a look at this. अगर मुझे window open करनी है, I will have to bend down a little. It is not ideal, but it is something that you will have to live with. One thing which you should notice is that you are getting one touch down operation for all 4 windows. लेकिन one touch up function आपको नहीं दिया गया है. एंड व्हेन यू रोल डाउन द विंडो, ये विंडो पूरी तरह से नीचे नहीं जाती है. विंडो का इतना सेक्शन ऐसे ही रह जाएगा. सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट यू विल हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. आप इस तरह से हाथ रख के यहाँ पे शायद ही बैठ पाओगे. यहाँ पे पीछे के कैबिन के लिए भी आपको 2 USB चार्जिंग पॉइंट्स दिए गए हैं। वेरी थॉटफुल, वेरी यूजफुल। दोनों ही फ्रंट सीट्स के पीछे आपको सीट बैक पॉकेट्स मिल रहे हैं, सो यू कैन स्टोर सम एक्स्ट्रा स्टफ। एंड नाउ व्हेन आई हैव टू सिट ओवर हियर एज द थर्ड पैसेंजर, चेक दिस आउट, इस तरह से मुझे यहाँ पे बैठना होगा। नाउ द ट्रांसमिशन हम्प इज प्रोमिनेंट। यहाँ पे आप इस तरह से पैर नहीं रख पाओगे बिकॉज यू नो देयर इज नॉट टू मच स्पेस। एंड अनदर odd bit is that these rails over here for the sliding mechanism of the front seats, these rails they pop out a bit too much, so it might hurt you, so be careful. यहाँ पे एक प्लास्टिक पीस ज़रूर फिट किया गया है ताकि आपको ज़्यादा कोई चोट ना लगे, कोई खरोच ना आए, बट दिस इज़ हाउ यू विल हैव टू सिट एज द फिफ्थ पैसेंजर। इतना हेडरूम आपको मिलने वाला है, बट देर इज़ नो हेड रेस्ट ओवर हियर फॉर whiplash protection and for added comfort. When I sit over here, you will notice that you get a fixed type headrest, and the headrest is soft, so you can relax over here in the back seat, especially thanks to the space that is available. You can really have a good time in the back seat of this Citroen C3. Seat back आप देख लीजिए, यहाँ पे ये जो सेक्शन है it is pushed a little forward. इसके वजह से आपको थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा lateral support मिल जाएगा when you are seated on either ends of this seat. आप ये भी देख सकते हो that the seat bench is carved out a little extra for better thigh support. You can notice how this section moves a little forward and it is pointing a little upwards for better thigh support. सीट पे आप देख सकते हो fabric upholstery, textured pattern, contrast stitching, and the seat back, ये जो bolstering है ये ज़्यादा prominent नहीं है because that allows you to make use of the entire width of the cabin. So there can be 3 people seated in the back seat for occasional drives, but ideally this is going to be a comfortable 4-seater for adults, and you can also have a kid seated in this section on this middle seat of the second row of this Citroen C3. अभी ये जो passenger seat है इसे मैंने all the way forward push किया है, and when I sit over here, check this out. This is the amount of knee room that is available. Very, very generous. And when I stretch my legs, this is a comfortable place to be. तो अगर ये आपकी दूसरी कार होने वाली है in the family, and if you want to buy this car as a chauffeur-driven vehicle for your family car requirements, say for example to just drive around your elderly in the family or to drop your kids, this is spacious and this is very, very comfortable. Comfort is the defining aspect on the inside of this Citroen C3, and I think it makes sense and the brand has done a fine job. पीछे डोर पैड पे भी आपको एक बॉटल होल्डर मिल रहा है, 1 लीटर की बॉटल भी आप यहाँ पे आसानी से रख पाओगे. दिस इज द carved out section over here on the door trim. यहाँ पे आपका फोन फिट नहीं होने वाला है, and as you can notice, no power window control over here. So this is the amount of space that is available on the inside, but just have a look at the parcel tray. The parcel tray is nicely recessed, so जब आप यहाँ पे कोई चीज़ रख दोगे, it is not going to move around too much. It will stay put, it will stay in place. So that is a good thing. एक और चीज़ जो मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ वो ये है that the seat back over here has a complete fold option. कोई split यहाँ पे नहीं है. There is no 60-40 और 50-50 split. लेकिन ये सीट बैक जो है इसे आप पूरी तरह से फोल्ड कर सकते हो if you want to carry larger items in the boot of this Citroen C3. Now let's get to the boot section and let me show you how much space is available over there. So to open the boot, यहाँ पे आपको एक request sensor दिया गया है. Press it and then you have to lift the tailgate. ये जो parcel tray है, it moves a little upwards. It is very marginal. Namesake है ये functionality, but it is going to allow for ease of access to the stuff that you have kept in the boot. इसे आप हटा भी सकते हो if you want to carry taller bags on the inside, and this is the amount of boot space that is available. यहाँ पे आप काफ़ी सारा सामान कैरी कर पाओगे, and I think 3 to 4 medium sized bags can easily be accommodated over here. 5 से 6 backpacks आप यहाँ पे आसानी से रख पाओगे, and of course you can also store stuff on this parcel tray. आप देख लीजिए यहाँ पे आपको luggage hooks भी मिल रहे हैं. So this is also going to be very, very useful. So this is very thoughtful to keep your stuff in place and in check, even in the boot of this Citroen C3. If you want to carry bigger items, if you want to carry a lot of stuff, check this out. Second row seat back मैंने fold किया है and this is a lot of space that is available on the inside. अगर आपको ये पार्सल ट्रे हटाना है, check this out. आप ये जो स्ट्रिंग है इसे काफ़ी आसानी से डिटैच कर सकते हो and then you can very easily remove this parcel tray and then you have a lot of space to carry a lot of cargo in this Citroen C3. So this definitely makes this vehicle a versatile family car. Boot floor को जब आप lift कर लोगे, you will notice that you get a space saver spare wheel. It is not a 15-inch wheel. आपको एक 14-inch का spare wheel इस गाड़ी के साथ मिलने वाला है and you are not getting alloy wheels on any variants, by the way. Alloy wheels are going to be an optional extra that is available as an accessory with this Citroen C3. ये tailgate जब आप lift कर देते हो, you will notice that you have these plastic panels over here trying to cover up all the mechanical bits. यहाँ पे आपको एक rubberized finish मिल रही है so that you know your parcel tray also stays in place and you know nothing moves around in an unwanted fashion, and that's about it. That is all the space that is available on the inside. Those are all the features that you get with the Citroen C3 and I think it is a sensible car. I do not know the price today, but I think that it is going to be on the aggressive side. I hope that the pricing is aggressive because there are quite a few feature omissions and the modern day Indian car buyer expects a lot, and Citroen is a new brand. This is the defining vehicle for Citroen here in India. This is going to be their most affordable vehicle for the Indian market and it has to strike the right balance when it comes to pricing and the equipment that is available with this C3. तो अगर आपके और कोई सवाल हैं इस गाड़ी के बारे में, do ask me. I will try my best to help you out. Subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel. Check out the other videos which we have uploaded for this Citroen C3. See you soon. Always drive safe and always, guys, wear your seat belts.